What up, Wife Life? Well, hello and good evening, and welcome to another Friday edition of You Want a Piece of Meat? So, as it says in the description, oh, who is this? What's up, Matt? We got Judy here. Hey, FIIF. By the way, since Judy's in the house, we do officially have FIIF t-shirts. I'll post a link for you in a second here, but that's like a thing now. You can buy, officially, an FIIF t-shirt or a mug. We have mugs up. It's pretty dope. Actually, let me put the link up really quick before I get rolling here. And the echoing is because I have a mic going through Pro Tools, but that's why I moved that away. Only for the singing. Alright, just going to get this link up quick and then we'll get rolling. I apologize, my computer's being a little silly, but here we go. Okay, computer's still being a butthead. Hang on, I'm just getting this link up for you guys. There we go. So that there is the link for the official FIIF t-shirts. And also there's a mug there. My wife and I worked on those today, so we got those happening. And, you know, as I said in the description, I'm going to kind of, I think, make this a little more of like a chilled out, informal kind of a Friday thing, like kind of a getting to know you sort of thing, behind the music, VH1, storytellers, like, or way less planned than that, but kind of in that direction. Like, you know, I'm definitely going to play some music, but also, you know, if you guys have questions, if there's anything you want to know, anything from how I write songs, how I make music, particular songs you like, if you have questions about anything regarding how I approach the music business, the guitars I play, any of the gear that I endorse and that I use, like, any question you guys want to know where I'm from, I can tell you that, you know. You know, it just struck me that it would be cool just to make this a little more of an intimate thing. The concert thing is definitely a lot of fun. Don't worry, Judy, I will still play your song as part of this whole thing. So that's happening, but, you know, whatever you guys want to know. So let's see here. Yeah, pop-up video style, you got it. Kind of, sort of. I like that. And there is my little baby girl. Hello, baby. All right. So, I am going to start it off by playing a song, but I'm going to kind of go into a little bit about the song itself. So I'm going to do Welcome to Hollywood. And this song was an interesting one. You know, I was in search of inspiration, and for some reason, like, I was raised Catholic, right? And so, you know, I grew up reading the Bible and stuff. And I was always really intrigued by the book of Revelation. It just always, I don't know, it just made my mind tick, you know? And something told me to just go looking there for the inspiration for a song, and then I did, you know, and I read, it talks about Jezebel and, you know, the people that were, like the people that end up getting punished in the end, right? And it's like, you know, to me, it's like a lot of that, what that talks about kind of tends to happen in life in present time. Like, it's not even necessarily a thing where it's like, you know, sure, in the end, maybe who knows what's waiting for us at the end of the road, but, you know, people tend to get theirs in life, one way or another, sooner or later, in my opinion, and, you know, that's kind of where Welcome to Hollywood comes from a little bit, you know, is the idea that, you know, you get these people in life, and they're your friend, or they're trying to do this good thing, but in reality, they're really just trying to ram a knife between your shoulder blades, and then they get caught, And then they're like, no, you don't get it, or no, that's not what I meant, and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, well, we're all misunderstood, buddy. Welcome to Hollywood, but factually, this is what's happening, and that's kind of where that song came from. And it was I was getting the Welcome to Hollywood album, which is the last album that No Convention did. That was the beginning of that album because I knew I wanted to do an album, but I didn't really know where to start with it, and that was where that album started. Was with that song and coming up with that, and it was just I really that came fairly fast for me. It was checking out my comments here. Oh, I forgot to wear the. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry, babe. Hang on. Pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Look. Hey, look what I got. Oh my God, it's a Mixed Media Girl t-shirt. Hashtag I love my wife. So anyway, here I am back with my incorrect proper uniform, and I apologize, babe. I know. I promised you I'd wear it. I wasn't like I didn't want to. I just totally forgot. I'm so sorry. But back to the music. Back to my VH1 storyteller segment. So yeah, that's kind of where that where the inspiration for that came from, and then the song from there. Once I had the concept, really just kind of came together, and it's literally just based a lot off of those verses in the Bible. Which it's funny because I'm not. Yeah, it just dawned on me to go there for the inspiration. That's where it went. So anyway, with that in mind and with the full context in place, this is Welcome to Hollywood.
Don't mistake my calm.
So that's that song, and that's where it came from. Oh, hey, we got some people in the house. What? Uh-oh. The wife has spoken. Adorbs. Alrighty. So, by the way, this is actually my first, back in, one of the things I, have become really big on recently is, I mean, not terribly recently, but I've really, my viewpoint on it has changed a lot, is like working with companies and, really committing to different companies that do what they do really well, and that also are into forming a relationship, and not just having it be, I buy your stuff once and that's it, like I've really become big on forming those relationships. It really occurred to me that, there's a lot of great companies out there, and there's a lot of not so great companies out there, and I've just found, I go to NAMM every year, which is a trade show for the music industry, and I've met some amazing, amazing people, and one of the newest that I've just started working with is Wath and Audiophile. Amazing, super cool family business based down in Texas. Very sweet people. And they happen to make the best studio speakers I've ever in my life heard. And I'm actually using them for the first time for one of these shows I just got. I'm actually going to turn my camera around so you can see the awesomeness that is these speakers. So they're there. Those are my babies. And up there, that's the power amplifier that drives them. But, yeah, just some of the coolest people ever. And, like I said, they're just, the product they make is unparalleled. And, whew. So, yeah, shout out to those guys, but, and then I'm just really excited to have them, excited to work with them, and they were so great to deal with and very accommodating, and just like I said, I'm just excited to see what comes out of using these speakers. And that's another aspect of me. It's okay. Oh yeah, keeps getting the phone. So, carrying on here, I was going to go into another song. This is a bit of an older one. This is a song called Low that I wrote and was on my first solo album, Cockeyed Optimism, which came out back in 2012. And this is, I kind of wrote this. One of the things about songwriting that I like to do is, I have my life and what's going on in my life. Actually, let me back it up a little bit and give you a little background as to how I even got into music. Is, when I was younger, particularly teenage years, everyone goes through their whatever when they're a teenager, but, I mean, it was kind of a rough time for me, for a multitude of reasons. Some of those reasons chemical. But anyway, the thing that really saved me at that time was music, and, I never really fully got until later why that even was, I just knew that it worked, and, when something works, you do it. And, if music can make your day a little bit brighter and make life a little more bearable, then, hallelujah, right? But I realized, that true artist, any artist, musician, artist, whatever, to me, is somebody that can, even if they're not personally experienced something at that time in life, they can understand a situation enough to duplicate it and replicate it in their art form. And I don't know, to that degree, at least for me, it made me feel better just feeling understood, like you listen to a Guns N' Roses song about being pissed off about whatever, you feel understood, and just to that degree it helps you, and that is really, to me, a big part of the magic of what I do is, even if I'm not in the situation, I can write about it. I can understand it enough that, maybe I can help someone feel a little bit better about what they got going on in life. Who knows? Maybe it even saves their life or something like that. And that to me is really one of my biggest purposes in writing, is to help people feel more understood, because that to me is just so important, and very rare that people have enough interest to even try to understand other people, let alone succeed at it. Anyway, so this song is written, I was not nearly in a place like what this is written about, but just being kind of at the bottom, like pretty much as far down to the bottom of the barrel as you can go, and looking up and kind of deciding that it's time to change something, and just getting over the self-loathing and the self-pity and the beating the crap out of yourself, and just, deciding, albeit in a bit of an antagonistic way, but deciding to take control of the situation, scene, and revert it, and not wait for someone else to do it for you anymore, because, that hasn't necessarily worked out. So this song's called Low, And again, it's off of my solo album, Cockeyed Optimism, which is out on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so here we go. I'm going to rock it out. Allie, oh snap, Allie's in his house. Hello, Clarice. And again, throughout this whole broadcast craziness here, if you guys have things you want me to do, go over, questions you want me to answer, I'm all about that, you know. And then again, if I just totally bore the hell out of you and you just want to hear me play, you can just put that in the comments, just shut up and play your damn songs, and that's fine too, you know. This is really, you know, it's for you, not for me. And I apologize, I'm a bit picky when it comes to tuning. There we go, this is low. Been thinking, been singing, been on my mind so long. How easy it could be if I could right this wrong. Oh, I'm down so low, drowning, I think what I had sown. Oh, I can't let go. Reach me before I lose my soul. Cold splinter, dead winter, this barren world I've made. Internal, infernal, these sins I once forgave. Oh, I'm down so low, drowning, I reaped what I have sown. Oh, I can't let go. Reach me before I lose my soul. Been singing, been on my mind so long. My pity within me, it dies now with this song. Oh, I'm down so low, drowning, I reap what I had sown. Oh, Thank you. Thank you so much. I can hear the applause from here. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, Judy, you're so welcome. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here, man. This is great. It's a big deal to me. Yeah, who'd have thought you'd look forward? Well, the Friday makes sense, wife life, but the Monday, yeah, I get it. I actually look forward to those Monday night videos with the wifey too. So, yeah. So cool. Next song I want to play around with here is, this was also, well, this has been recorded a couple times. You know, and I do have a tendency to take inspiration from life and just kind of what's going on at any given time, whether with me or someone else. It's, you know, it's not always something that's happening, but a lot of what I write tends to be, you know, either observing something I find interesting or, you know, exercising a demon, so to speak, or, you know, blowing off steam or whatever. You know, this song wasn't particularly blowing off steam. It was actually it was at a point in my life where I was just ready to move. You know, all my life I'd wanted to really pursue what I'm doing now with my music, and I always wanted to come to LA. And at the point that I wrote this, I was right on the cusp of doing that, and it was written like right as I was making the decision to change that. And I literally came out to Los Angeles and was visiting some family, and I had never been before. And, you know, plane landed, I kind of decided this was home. I was here for a week, found work, went back home, sold a bunch of stuff, and literally 6 weeks later was in a van moving out here. It's just powerful. Sometimes those things happen where it's like, you know, you really just get this super strong intention, and this was one of those where I just really just decided, and like really decided, not just like that would be nice, but I was like, this is it, it's happening. And then all of a sudden things just kind of fell into place, you know. So that's really what this song is about. And at the point that I wrote it, I still hadn't totally figured out how it was going to go down. I hadn't even figured out exactly what I was going to do, but it's like I had the sense, you know. It's like the song, particularly the second verse, there's this lyric where it's you know, burn in my nasal the scent of you. It was like I could smell the change. I could smell that something was coming. I could sense it. I didn't know what it was yet. I didn't know exactly what the form of it would be, how it would go down. But it was just this, the intention was so strong and so there, and there was just this pull that was happening, and I just followed it. And, you know, now here I am in Los Angeles with the studio and, you know, doing what I'm doing, and it's awesome. Any new songs? Well, gee. Even the lambs were screaming. Yes, they were, Allie. Yes, they were. I do have some newer stuff that I'm working on. It's funny, I was just talking to my wife about this earlier, that I'm polishing and getting ready, so I will have new material very soon to share with y'all. I'm definitely excited to bring it out. And that's kind of another thing that's been interesting, is a lot of what I've released the last couple albums, you know, some of it's been new at the time, but some of it's also been kind of cleaning up the stuff for, you know, some stuff I've written like, you know, I may have written it 5 or 10 years ago, and then it's like I finally get around to recording it. And this next album, you know, there's a bit of that, but mostly I'm just approaching it with a lot of new material, and I'm really excited about that. So I will definitely have some newer stuff coming down the pipe for you guys to check out. That being said, this one I'm going to jam through again. It's called In the Air. And again, with the context now fully in place, here we go. Oh, and by the way, I am going to do one thing here before I start. This is, again, another company I work with, Slide Winder Rings. The guy that invented these, Alex, is literally one of the most brilliant. Like, the guy's a freaking certifiable genius. Like, you know, he took something, a guitar slide, typically, and for those of you that don't know what a guitar slide is, hang on, I'll actually show you one. A traditional guitar slide. So a guitar slide traditionally looks something like this. It's a tube, usually made of metal or glass, sometimes made of bone. And when you hear a lot of like country western music where it's got that like kind of like a really fat sounding twangy-ish sort of sound, that's a slide guitar effect that you're hearing. And you know, the thing with slide guitar is with a traditional slide, you're kind of limited to what you can do because you have this thing sitting on your finger, and then you can't really do chords very easily other than maybe some really simple ones. It really limits you, and plus playing slide, it's not intuitive. You have to keep your wrist at a different angle than you normally would when you play. It's just really, if you're a slide player, it's like if you decide to do that when you're wearing this thing, you really can't do much else, you know. So anyway, this guy, Alex Calder, that has this company, Slide Wine and Ring, that is, again, another guy that I met at NAMM, and first of all, sweetest guy on the planet, super nice guy. I don't think I've ever met a more humble and a more kind and caring and giving person in my life. And, you know, he really took the time to, acknowledge that, yeah, slide playing, everyone, who doesn't want to play slide, but it's hard to learn because it's not intuitive to a guitar player the way you normally play. And it's limiting, you know, and a lot of guys give up on it because they can't even get past the part of, geez, it's kind of hard to control it because you have to have your strings really set high up off your neck and you have to learn this whole technique, and it's, yeah. And so I met him and I'm like, you know, I don't play slide, man, you know, I'm sorry, these look amazing. He's like, well, I'm glad you said that, but you're going to play slide today. And he shows me these rings and I'm just like, what is this? Oh God, where did I put it? I set it down and now, oh, there it is. So, you know, he puts one of these rings on my fingers and he's just like, and they're magnetic. This is genius. I mean, number one, the rings are made so low profile, they can go on your finger. I can make a tight fist with this. I can bend my fingers, I can play lead, I can play chords, I can do whatever. And then there's a magnet. This round thing here is actually a magnet. And then there's a couple of smaller magnets on the side. So it actually pulls the string to the ring, so it's cool because like you can play and get this effect. There, I'll show you a little bit to give you a sense of the sound I'm talking about. If you haven't heard me play this before, it's like, you know, you got like, that's like a regular guitar sound, right? And then you got, and that's like your slide effect. I didn't even press on my strings because the magnet pulls the string to the ring. It's amazing. It's easy to play. You don't have to change the angle. You put your hand on the neck. Anyway, I don't mean to go on and on. I'm trying not to get too technical, but this guy, I met him at NAMM, and I've been working with this company ever since. It's another company I endorse, and I actually work directly with him on actually telling people about the rings and also selling them because I just believe in them so much, and they just really open up a whole dimension of my playing. And quickly, it didn't take long to get it. So anyway, there's that, so I'm going to use this ring a little bit for this song. This is, again, called In the Air.
without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. I've been wanting, I've been reaching, I've been breathing for you so long. I've been wanting, baby, I've been reaching, I've been breathing for you so long, so long.
Let's see here. Thanks, all spicy. That's a compliment. Aw, thanks, Wife Life. You guys are the best. And Mr. Alex Calder from Slidewinder Ring. Speaking of the devil, meeting Thomas Nordegg. And by the way, Alex just asked me a question about meeting a guy named Thomas Nordegg, who I had the opportunity, really privilege, to hang out with. Gosh, this had to have been about a little over a month now, a month and a half. I actually got to go to his studio. Thomas Nordegg is currently the guitar tech for Steve Vai. In the past, he was guitar tech for Frank Zappa, Dweezil Zappa, and a string of other people. He's been in studio with Richie Sambora, all these guys. This guy's a living legend, basically. He's also a bit of a mad scientist. Oh, thanks, Allie. But anyway, meeting Thomas Nordegg was a bit like a religious experience, because this guy, I mean, aside from just being a brilliant, guitar tech, he's actually developed technology with a guitar that just transcends anything that's ever existed. It's like he created this, I don't even know how to describe it, this like intelligent guitar system. And all I can say is the man is brilliant, and if you ever come across the name Thomas Nordegg, whatever it is, pay attention to it. The guy is brilliant, and he's like setting the tone for the future of how music with a guitar is made. It's just phenomenal. That's the short answer. I feel like nothing I say could do that man justice. He's just, and such a sweet, nice guy. Like, oh my God, what a sweetheart. To answer that question, what is this? Johnny's voice is like ice cream in heaven. What flavor? That's a good question. I want to know what flavor. Let's see. And yes, if you want to get a little more of a taste of Thomas Nordegg, Guitar Player Magazine this for September 2018, check it out. And also, Slidewinder Ring was featured in Guitar Player Magazine in July, this month's issue, so check that out as well. Very, very cool, and honor and very flattering to me to be able to be a part of what's going on with Slidewinder Ring. It's just, again, Alex, I'm glad you actually came on. It really is a privilege working with you, and I appreciate everything. And I'm just gonna. I hope I can. I'm looking forward to working together with you more, and just oh my God, the way this has opened my playing up has been phenomenal. So again, thank you. Rocky Road. You could do better than that, dude. Anyway, I'm going to go back up in the comments to see if I've missed any questions. Slide gives it a deep South Swamp Monster sound. That's actually a great way of putting it, Judy. Thank you. That's actually wonderful. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Ellie, you saw the interview with Alex. I did. That was actually a lot of fun to do too. Let's see here. Yay. Okay, I will continue. I will continue my show here. Oh, what's happening with my computer? Alright. Coffee, butter, pecan, and rocky road. That just sounds like a bit much. You know, I'm more of a caramel guy myself. Caramel, fudge. Caramel and fudge. I'm a caramel fudge sundae. That's what I am. You know, that I just figured it out. That's great. Now, actually, since we got Mr. Alex on the line here, I think I'm going to actually rock out a little more slide and just kind of play around a bit because I'm just really feeling it. Love this room. And by the way, this is the long and slender edition. A few different sizes of ring slide out there. You want lessons? Oh my goodness. Allie back. Allie, you're like my new best friend, in case you didn't know, by the way. Which is kind of a little scary. Like, my wife is kind of flipped out by our sense of humor being so similar. It is a little scary, but it's awesome. Alright. So now, this next song I'm going to do here is an interesting one. And by the way, going backward a little bit, on In the Air, I realized as I was playing, I was like, the lyrics were written before I got out here. The music actually got written after I got out here, and the way that happened is I had the words and I really liked them, and I wasn't sure what to do with them. And I actually went and saw a show at a place in Fullerton called the Slide Bar, which is actually a pretty cool bar and grill place that just has really good bands. And anyway, a guy was playing there that night who's actually a pretty awesome guy, actually. Just a really great guy, great musician. His name's Jason Charles Miller. He was the singer of God's Head back in the day, which is a metal band. They toured with Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. And now he plays country, which is an interesting switch. The guy has got a phenomenal voice. Number one, if you think of it, like, go right now and look up Jason Charles Miller and listen to his stuff and like his stuff. This guy is off the freaking chart. It's insane. But anyway, I saw him live, and it was like my first time seeing him. And his style had such a great southern fried sound to it, but it was definitely still rocky, and like he had some. I could tell there was some of the edge left from the metal side in there, but it was definitely country-ish music, and that inspired me to write the music that ended up going behind In the Air. So full backstory, Jason, thank you so much for being awesome. And then I met him after the show, and he was like, again, like the sweetest freaking guy on the planet. Especially coming out of the heavy metal scene, it's funny. Some of these metal guys are like the nicest people on the planet. He's definitely one of them. So then this next song, and I'll preface this by saying, it's one thing I've really learned. I've tried to like find the formula or the magic bullet of like, every time if you want to write a song, do this, you'll always have it. It'll always be great or whatever. And I've seen different formulas and approaches for doing it, and they're all valid and they're all great. What I've found for myself is that, the only thing that's really a constant is kind of being open to receiving whatever the inspiration is, wherever it might come from. And just really being open to whatever's around me, and really it's not such an effect thing either, though. It's a very causative, more like communicating with my environment actively, not necessarily talking audibly, but like having a communication, having a dialogue with my environment is the way I like to think of it. And then things kind of just come how they come. I have questions. Life, the rings do adjust. They are actually bendable and they don't break. So these wings adjust in and out, and you just kind of squeeze them until they fit your finger right. Good question. Will the rings help us pour better? Well, funnily enough, the wife's supposed to be pouring on one of these rings. We have one for her to pour on, so we'll find out. Jason Charles Miller, there it is. Why camouflage the blonde? Don't camouflage it. Anyway, so this next one is a song called Falling. This was also on my the solo album, Cockeyed Optimism. And this is one of those where I came up with the riff. Like I was playing around, I'm playing around, messing around in my living room on my guitar, and I have my capo on, which, by the way, this capo is another company. I work with G7 Capos. Again, I know I say this about like every company I work with. I'm really picky about who I work with, though. And these guys are, A, product is the best on the planet. B, nicest, freaking, coolest British guys ever. Small family business. I don't know. I love them. And of course, my Minerick guitar, by the way. As you all know, this is like my pride and joy. And aside from the wife doing an amazing job painting it, Mark Minerick is like literally, again, one of the biggest sweethearts on the planet. Tony, my AR guy over there, is just phenomenal. Like, it's a freaking family. It really is. And anyway, I'll stop gushing. But then going back to the song, I'm sitting in my living room, I'm just playing around, and then I'm like, I play this, I literally stumble onto, and I just start there, right? And then I just play around with that, and it's like, where do I go from here? Let's try that. Oh yeah, that works. And that was just where that started, and it really built out of that, and then I think I literally wrote musically the whole song, and then I came up with I don't even know how I came up with these chords, because it's just a funny inversion of a D chord and a C chord, really. But I was just literally futzing around, and I just was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. That works. And then as I wrote it, I got this imagery of like, it's got this kind of like smoky, mysterious, very sensual, sexy kind of sound to it. I'm like, well, this is all about a chick. Certainly. I don't know who. This is another one of those, I wasn't, I wrote it, but I wasn't necessarily the subject matter. And I just got the picture of there's, a woman, or for you ladies out there, it could be a guy that it's like, you look at them and, It's like, man, this chick is like smoking, but I know that if I get anywhere near this chick, it's gonna be trouble. Like, it's gonna be bad, but at the same time, I feel like I have no choice. Like, it's like a drawn thing, you know? Again, I don't really know who this isn't written about anyone that I was experiencing myself at that time, particularly. It was just the concept that came out of writing this, and I was like, all right. So, and then the words, literally, it was just like, I sat 20 minutes, I had the lyrics just all written out, and I was really happy with them. So, with that being said, and without further ado, this is Falling.
And here we go. See you, hear you, I want to know you, I can't do, can't be all that you need. I want to adore you, but I can see a story now unfolding, so haunting. I can just see me falling now. You speak, I can't write. You turn, I'm on fire. Touch me, tear me down as you need. Oh, I want to adore you, but I can see a story now unfolding, so haunting. I can just see me falling I want to adore you, but I can see a story now unfolding, so haunting. I can just see me falling. I want to adore you, but I can see a story now unfolding, so haunting. I can just see me falling. I can just feel me falling. I can just see me falling now.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. If it scares you, marry it. You'll have plenty to write about it. Wife, life, I like that. Or I'm sorry. Oh, that was a slide winder comment. I'm sorry. See, that's the problem with reading things bent over sideways. Alright. Wife, life made Ronald McDonald look sexy. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. I think that's a lie. And wife, life, I am sure you look wonderful blonde. And oh my goodness. All right, what else? I'm just checking to see if I have any other questions here. Let's see. All right. I see no questions, so I'm going to press on. Wow, time is flying. Well, you know, it's almost that special time. I think I'm going to do, I think I'll do one more behind the music segment, we'll say here. And then I'll go on to my finale song, which I know that Judy will be upset if I don't play, so I definitely have to play it. And again, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out, man. This is awesome. I look forward to these Fridays. I don't know about you guys, but this has really become like the highlight of my week, and I really do love it. And I love all you guys for being here and making it real. You really do. It's awesome. So this next song here, you know, this is pretty straightforward. I wrote this one for my wife. Before she was my wife, we had, you know, it's an interesting thing. Our relationship was always, it was a pretty forward relationship pretty much from the start. We didn't really waste time talking about marriage and kids and stuff, you know, I mean, we were pretty upfront about all that stuff, I think, before we even went out on a date. And, you know, so we were the very cute, keeping the month anniversary thing couple, you know, we were like that couple, right? And then, I mean, every month it was like a thing, too, like, we do something for each other. It was actually pretty cool and sweet, and I feel like there needs to be more of that in the world. It's like, you know, it's like the Beatles, all we need is love, right? So, hello, ladies. Oh, hey, Dad. Woo! Judy, thank you so much. And thank you for noticing the t-shirt, Dad. I wore it especially for my special lady friend. So anyway, we did the whole celebrate every month, every anniversary, every month anniversary, and you know, at 4 months, it's funny. I was sitting at work at my desk, and I couldn't. I knew I wanted to write a song, but I couldn't get it. So I'm sitting there like deliberating, and something, I don't know what it was, made me think of like counting how many days it had been since we started dating. By the way, fun fact: I have this tattoo on my wrist with a date that says December 2nd, 2012. That's actually the day of our first date. For those of you who don't know, we've been dating since then, and we got married exactly a year later. So I can never forget my anniversary. If I do, I'm just, you know, yeah. Anyway, I have no excuse. But I counted the days, and it was 121 days, and I don't know, that just rang a little bit. And I was like, huh, that's interesting, okay. And I literally sat at my desk and just penned these lyrics, you know, just like really looking back and just reminiscing and taking stock and, you know, all the, like, where it's been, where it's going. And, you know, I sat there in the course of like probably, I don't know, half an hour and just was like typing, doing my work, and then I'd come up with a lyric and I'd just keep writing, and then it just came together. And then the song, honestly, was a little bit, the intro anyway, was, there's this intro riff that starts out on the bass and it goes, right? That's actually kind of inspired by a song by U2 called Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. They did a version of it that starts with a riff that's kind of similar, and for whatever reason, I started thinking of that. And then obviously I built off of it, and it became, you know, the song it was, and then again, it's interesting because it was another one. You know, the more clear a concept I have, I realized that the faster and the easier a song comes together. It's like, you know, a friend of mine, Dee O'Malley, who has been somebody that have co-written things with, and just a great friend. And she's been a songwriter. That's what she does for a living, and she's been doing it for years. And she's really brilliant. And you know, one of the things she always said is that when you're truly connected to what you want to say, all the barriers go away, and that's so true. Like, you know, if you're just sitting there kind of like flippantly like, oh sure, I'll write a song because I got nothing better to do, it's not likely you're going to write anything worthwhile. You might get lucky, you know, a blind squirrel does find a nut every once in a while. But if you have like the idea, if you have the picture, you know, and if you look at it, like, to me, all the best songs, the ones that are timeless, the ones that really communicate, there's imagery there, there's a story, there's picture, there's like a concept. It's not something that somebody just tossed off. I mean, even if it was a song where the lyrics or it came fast, they had a clear concept. You know, and to me the best music is like that. And also, another cool thing is that David Campbell, who is one of the top string arrangers on the planet, number one. Number two, awesome person, awesome individual, very talented man. you know, I went to a seminar that he did, and the one thing he said is creation is hot, fast, and easy. And you know, I was like, it's interesting because, like, you know, I feel like we're kind of taught otherwise. But as particularly, if you really know what you want to say, I mean, really, I don't know that it should be hard or it should take a long time. Like, and you know, I've heard a multitude of people say, well, you need to deliberate, and you know, songs aren't written, they're rewritten. Personally, I'm like, you know, if you really got a message happening and you really have a statement you want to make, just make it. And when I've written things that way, like the stuff that I've written that I consider the best and that people have liked the most are mostly first drafts, you know, for the most part, lyrically anyway. You know, maybe a tweak here and there, but. And anytime I've gone and tried to rewrite a song, I've always gotten pissed at myself and probably pretty much put it back to where it was. So I was like, I don't like this, you know. And that's like how this one was. And, you know, people really seem to dig on this song. I've had it requested. I know my wife loves it, which is always good. And it was like that, very hot, fast, and easy. And I just really a beautiful song to me. And the closest I've ever come to writing a pop song, really. So yeah, this is 121 Days. And I'm going to do this one, and then it'll be special FIF time, I promise. So here we go. We've been here 121 days. I still remember like yesterday. The winter breeze that drew us near, and in you the gift of every dream of here. 121 days since the rain stopped pouring. 121 days since love walked in. 121 days since the world came alive. 121 days I'm falling more in love with each day we spend. First time we kissed and each other we disappeared. It blows me away how I feel inside. Each touch, each kiss feels just like that night. 121 days since the rain stopped pouring. 121 days since love walked in. 121 days since the world came alive. 121 days falling more in love with each day we spend. You're dangerous, 'cause you're honest. You're dangerous, you don't know what you want. Well, you left my heart empty as a vacant lot. For many spirits it haunts. Hey, sha-la-la. Hey, sha-la-la. Who's gonna run your wild horses? Who's gonna drown your blue sea? Who's gonna run your wild horses?
since love walked in. 121 days since the rain fell. More than 121 days since love walked in. 121 days since the world came alive. 121 days falling more in love. Falling more in love. Falling more in love with each day. Thank you.
That song also, by the way, oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Alex. That song also, by the way, was produced by Billy Sherwood. And working with him as an experience, he actually is currently the bass player for Yachts. He's a beast of a musician, and as it would happen, also a phenomenal producer. And he really took me to another level on that song. On the recording, there's a lot of backing vocal and harmonizing, and just the whole producing process. He was so streamlined and yet so spot on with everything. And he actually played the bass on the song too, which was just an honor to have him on it. But yeah, recording that song was a real experience. It was, he was just so fabulous to work with. He was literally one of the best producers, maybe even the best producer I've ever experienced. So I'm gonna do one more here, and I know this is the one y'all have been waiting for. Now, just a reminder, if you go to the very top of the conversation of the comments, there is a link for t-shirts, and they're the official FIIF t-shirts, hashtag FIIF. And by the way, definitely feel free to make sure everyone hit the like button on the video here today on the live feed if you haven't already. Feel free to share, and if you feel like it too, once this is up, feel free to share the replay. And hashtag FIIF is definitely a thing that I'm working on making into a thing. So please do use that hashtag wherever it makes sense, and even if it doesn't make sense, you can post a picture of a kitty, hashtag FIIF. You can post a hashtag of your newborn child, hashtag FIIF. If you want to do a selfie while hanging off the top of the Empire State Building, hashtag FIIF away. I want to make this into a thing. And then just check out the t-shirts at the top. My wife did an amazing job designing them. They are for sale. Rock them, wear them proudly. Please share them. I'm going to be getting one myself very soon. I'm super stoked about it. And on that note, and with that in mind, I give you Fuck It, It's Friday.
So many things that I could have done, so many hearts that I could have won, because the world is coming down on me, because I'm not what I'm supposed to be. It's Friday. I'll fuck it up a few more days. Fuck it, it's Friday. I'll fuck it up a few more ways. With all the shit that we've been through. Fuck it, what can you do? With all the shit that we've been through. What's a fucking life piece supposed to do? What's the job. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But either way, you've earned your weekend. Maybe it was a great week, maybe it was a total shit week. It doesn't matter. Because, you know, it's Friday. And for the next 2 days, that shit just don't mean a thing. So again, the song is dedicated to all you, all the working stiffs. So I'm going to go back into this last chorus here. And from wherever you're at, New York State, Florida, California, the outer reaches of my mind, wherever, I want you to sing it. I want you to embrace it. I want you to revel in it, wallow in it, swim in it, root in it, eat it, drink it, bathe in it, rub it all over your body. It rubs the Friday on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. There we go. Sing it loud. We all need more FIF in our lives now. I am so tempted to do an encore right now, it's not even funny. Just because you guys are awesome, I'm just having such a good time doing this, and I really appreciate you being here and listening and hanging out and listening to all my nonsense ranting about where my songs came from, and you know, it's actually super cool. I'm really glad you're digging it, and I feel like doing one more. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. And I heard Judith too. And Judy, you're the best. You guys are all the best. You guys are amazing. So the encore I'm thinking of is actually, and you know, it's not one I wrote. I researched this one. It's a cover I'm actually allowed to do on YouTube. Just give you a little backstory on that if I haven't. I feel like I'd said this once already, but basically my first ever live video got taken down because I played a song that will remain unnamed. But basically it got taken down because it turns out I wasn't allowed to play it. And then I found out there's a whole database that basically you search out a song title, it'll either say you're good to play it, you're good to do it on YouTube and use it in your videos, or you're not. So anyway, hence why I don't do very many covers these days. But today's special, I checked this one out and I'm allowed to do it. So I won't get in trouble, my channel won't get all messed up and stuff. And this, like I said, cover song, so I can't necessarily do the whole VH1 treatment on it, but what I can say is that it's a song from a movie. Number one, it's a song that a band that I've just put together recently is working on. We're going to be playing, it's called Octane Soul, and it's more of a soul R&B blues kind of thing, coming to a bar or a nightclub near you. And this is one that we just had been working on the last few rehearsals, and I love the song. I've been listening to it for years. This is my kind of guilty pleasure. I was a Dirty Dancing fan when I was a kid. You know, I never wanted to admit it. My sisters loved the movie. I wanted to be Johnny Castle, personally. I thought he was like the man, and like, you know, look at the guy. Who wouldn't want to be, right? You know, nobody puts baby in the corner. And then, you know, the woman I married happens to be like the biggest fanatic of that movie on the planet. So, you know, bonus points for Johnny. And then this is a song from that movie that Patrick Swayze sings. I just have always really loved it. I feel like it probably gets panned a bit as a cheesy 80s ballad, but fuck it. I really like it, and it's a great song. And it's one I know my wife really likes too, so, again, bonus points. So, and, in honor of Patrick Swayze, who obviously passed away several years ago now, geez, time flies, but who I just heard was an amazing guy, really super upbeat person, and very cool, even right to the end when his life was ending, and left behind a hell of a legacy in the entertainment industry. So, a little tribute to him as well. This is She's Like the Wind.
She's like the wind through my tree. She rides the night next to me. She burns me with moonlight, only to burn me with a song. She's taking my heart, she doesn't know what she's done. Feel the breath on my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I am everything she needs. She's like the wind. I look in the mirror and all I see is a young old man with only a dream. Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I go insane. Feel the breath on my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe
so much. That, flashlights and lighters, baby. Thank you so much again, everyone, for coming and hanging out with me again. Please do make sure that you like the video if you haven't already. Feel free to share it after it's posted once we're done. And again, I'm stoked that you guys were into this. If you assuming that you weren't all just being nice, I guess this is kind of more what I'll look to do going forward. Just kind of giving you more of an insight on what I'm doing. If you guys again have questions at any point, I take them home. Oh Lord. Oh, thanks, Harold. If you guys have questions of any sort at any point, you can think ahead with them if you want, but bring any questions to me musically, otherwise. I love you guys. I'm interested in knowing more about what interests you and then letting you know more about me. So thank you again. Have a good night. Have an amazing weekend. Fuck it, it's Friday. Hashtag FIIF. Definitely check out the t-shirt link at the top of the chat feed. And again, thanks just so much for hanging out. You guys are, seriously, this is the pinnacle of every week for me, and it really means a lot that you're here, and I appreciate the hell out of it. So see ya, peace, adieu, buenos nachos, good night. Mwah.